10 huge EastEnders spoilers for next week. What's coming up in Walford? 1. Sharon shares a secret. After Sharon discovers that Bianca knows her mysterious secret, she decides to take matters into her own hands and braces herself to come clean. However, circumstances beyond her control prevent her from speaking the truth. The worried business lady then confides in her half-brother Zack, but she realizes that someone has overheard their conversation. Later, Barney reveals to Zack that he was the one that listened in, but what will this mean for Sharon? 2. Bianca struggles to cope. Still devastated, Bianca finds it difficult to leave number 25 and face her fellow Walford residents. George is on hand to reassure his neighbor that she's not responsible for the catastrophe that unfolded. But his words fail to make a difference. Afterwards, Kat makes her own attempt to get through to Bianca, which finally convinces her to open up about her suffering. 3. Alfie feels proud. Despite a turbulent few months, Kat and Alfie finally have reason to feel proud of Tommy when he searches for ways to help a mate that could do with some assistance. Although, the troubled teenager soon reveals that it was actually an online friend of his that came up with the idea to suggest a support group. Later, Tommy joins forces with his dad to throw a lad's night for the needy friend. Will it all go to plan? 4. Barney is injured. Desperate, Zack privately promises Sharon that he will find a way to stop Barney from revealing her secret. Before long, the protective brother confronts Barney at his mum's bar, but disaster strikes when the teen begins to bleed from a stomach injury that he suffered during the explosion at the Vic. 5. Tommy returns home. Ever since Tommy was taken away by social services, the 14-year-old has been living with registered foster carer, Zack. However, his stint away from home finally ends when Kat and Alfie's social worker, Leslie, reveals that their son can move back in with them. This leads the couple to discuss the challenges that they might face, given Tommy's history of violent behavior. Later in the week, Kat and Alfie welcome their boy back into the fold, although it doesn't take long for him to request time online to speak to his mysterious friend. This forces Kat to reveal that she got rid of his console, but she quickly promises to buy him a new one. Elsewhere, Harvey puts together a good deed for Lily, but his efforts backfire on him. 6. Zack wants answers. At the hospital, Zack joins Nicola and Teddy while young Barney receives medical attention for his bleeding wound. As the medics look over their patient, a conversation about blood groups ensues. The topic immediately sparks suspicion within Zack, who pulls the nurse aside for a word before he outright asks Nicola whether he is Barney's biological father. Will she tell him the truth? 7. The Knights step up. Concerned, the Knight family band together to tempt Bianca to visit Beale's Eels. Their efforts fail, however, as she feels too traumatized to leave the house. Subsequently, Kat learns about her friend's predicament and gives some advice that she hopes will help. This time, Bianca goes through with the guidance, but things don't work out as intended. 8. Nicola confesses. With Zack on her case, Nicola gives up her ruse and confesses that he is Barney's dad after all. Back in Walford, the 36-year-old chef turns to alcohol before receiving a call from Whitney that sends him even further into a slump. Afterwards, Nicola fights to keep her youngest son's paternity under wraps when she plays her trump card with Sharon. A frank conversation then leads the mum of two to believe that she's out of the woods. Later, Nicola and Teddy invite Sharon and Zack to share a meal with them at Walford East. But as the foursome come face to face, will secrets come to the surface? 9. Kat jumps to conclusions. Struggling with her emotions, Kat fears the worst when Alfie returns home with an injury after a kickabout with Tommy. Tension soon builds and the teenager loses his temper during an argument over his computer console. Meanwhile, Harvey feels shut out by the Slater family. 10. Kojo needs help. Hoping to support Bianca, Kojo visits Beale's Eels to pick up some food for his pal. However, the well-meaning trip takes a turn for the worse when a group of lads target the Night Brother. Luckily, Peter picks up on the situation and informs Bianca, which leads her to face her fears head-on. Can she save Kojo from trouble?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại bạn.